How did you change your way of working since the pandemic? Are your employees working from the office or from home?
Yes, thank you for the question. We already considered making hybrid work available to our employees before the pandemic. We also launched a project to make home office possible. When the pandemic hit, our colleagues were provided with the tools and devices to work from home. We successfully set up necessary framework in a few days' time. As a result, when COVID started in March 2020, those who wanted to stay at home were offered home office, while those who preferred working in the office were able to use a safe office environment. Since then, our employees have agreed with their line manager on the weekly amount of home office to ensure that all our responsibilities are continuously fulfilled.
Yeah, that's a good question. So basically, we need to go back to 2020, right? When we established our regional business service center covering Europe, as actually we started in the middle of the pandemic. So after a couple of weeks, we went for a full home office environment. We spent there 10 months. So we've been truly a virtual shared service center, and we managed the setup accordingly. Basically, I think as the last couple of years, let's say, showcased during spring and summer, it's a little bit better. The pandemic situation, getting lower cases, so we could switch off also to a hybrid solution. Other than that, we've been in a home office, and again during this wave, since last November, we are in a full home office mode as well. Sure, it's been kind of exciting times next to a horrible pandemic situation, as I think the virtual shared service concept itself been always in the air that can anybody do that, and quite honestly, next to the fact that we've been also with the leadership team in experience to setting up or operating business service centers, shared service centers, regional or global setups, to start everything from a remote environment and everything virtually. Need to tell you that including, set up the legal entity, selection of the office location, interviewing the next layers of the organization, ensuring that the onboarding is working properly and promptly, to set up basically the service delivery models, migrating the activities again fully virtually. That's been also a learning curve. I might say that the classic, let's say, steps to set up a center is been similar, but due to the virtual world, the logistics, the setups, and to the time what we spent on the setup, it's been also much more, I would say, that in a face-to-face environment. But as the time proved, we could deliver everything what we wanted. We delivered the migrations, we could proceed with our growth, and we could basically attract and retain talented people. So I'm gonna be grateful, actually, what we achieved so far.
Okay, so at the moment, we are working in a mixed model, or I would say balanced model. There were a couple of periods, weeks, or sometimes months when there were a full home office, mostly in line with the official government instructions and requests. But as of today, we apply kind of a mixed balanced model, 1 or 2 weeks in home office per week and the rest in the office. So home office in our case was possible before the pandemics, but colleagues were not really requesting living that, and this became quite a norm now. And one important supportive factor for that was the teams, or although Skype or video conference technology existed before, but it wasn't in our DNA. And I think that's a very big change now that not just Teams, but other cooperation platforms existing before or existing now, they really became the norm, even if we are in the office. So instead of walking up or down 2 stairs, we are using this technology.
Right now, I trust hybrid would be the most descriptive. Most of the employees tend to work from home, but we have never ever closed our office, so it's fully available to our employees. I would say that typical presence is between 10 and 25% roughly on an average day. And we, in the current circumstances, we do allow some flexibility on employees' choice.
What do you think what will be the new norm regarding home office at your company in the future, assuming that the health risks associated with the epidemic disappear?
I think this 1/2 days of home office and 3-4 in the workplace is a good mixture. I think this is sustainable, and I personally see this is working well, and I hope that, or I believe that this is going to be the future in our company.
It's difficult to answer because I trust we expect simple answers to complicated challenges. I trust the pandemic changed the way we work in multiple ways. And I think the high-level answer is hybrid. I mean, I've yet to see a leader who thinks that classical brick and mortar solution of people working 5 days in the office is the solution. I'm also rarely encountering anybody who thinks that that 100% remote is the best possible way to work. So my personal forecast, and that's the working assumption in our company, is that for most employees, hybrid work is the right way to do it. Opinions differ on the exact details, but the high-level concept, I trust there is consensus across most industry leaders that some type of hybrid is the solution. Plus, 100% remote work used to be an extreme exception or non-existent, and now it will enter the agenda. It's already entering it, just not to the extent most people imagine. I think it will be still the minority of the positions and employees who would work 100% remotely permanently.
Well, quite honestly, as we spend the majority in a virtual mode, at best, I might say, what I see at the moment. And of course, we are also looking forward to be able to reutilize our office environment is the hybrid. Hybrid is a new norm, right? It is, and it will remain with us. I'm pretty sure about that. There won't be any more in any of the centers. I think Monday to Friday, fully in the office. And quite honestly, I think it's a good thing. Well, it won't be able to overcrowd so far. We are in a growth mode, but this is how we originally, there's been a natural advantage, I might say, that this is how we organize the office as we started during a pandemic situation. So of course, there are different zones within the office, and we keep it again flexible within the teams, how they intend to utilize it. Having said, at the moment, we're in a full virtual environment, right? Everybody's 100% home office, so we don't need that. But as soon as we can get back, as we did during last spring and summer, that will be again a flexible solution to be set up. We do not want to over control, but we will have enough space during the growth. And with the hybrid environment, of course, you can even save further seats as well. When we're arriving or potentially arriving to a maximum capacity, this is the time when you need, let's say, a little bit more planning, more logistics, and more softwares to do that.
Yes, well, the pandemic has accelerated the transition to hybrid working at many companies worldwide, I think. We expect the new way of working to stay with us, even if health risks are mitigated or eliminated, making hybrid work arrangements more common. I believe that colleagues still feel the need to socialize and meet each other in person, both at work and live in their private lives. Our projects require cooperation that cannot be ensured so effectively from a home office environment only. Working from home can be efficient if colleagues already know each other in person and have an established working and communication routine among them. The expected home office ratio in our work arrangements is difficult to predict, I think. Different teams can be in the office at the same time, and we must be able to provide office spaces for employees. Being on the safe side, I think we are currently sizing our office places at approximately 50% remote work, which doesn't mean that this will be also our expectation towards our employees. We even focus on the collaboration within the office in different ways. Employees need low focus, high focus environments alike, and we need to provide them with both. I believe Besides its benefit, home office can also have health and private life changes. Consequences are currently little known and will be evident only in the following years. I mean here, for example, issues like obesity, drastic reduction of physical and social relationships, or even depression. Too much time together can also badly affect relationships, and irregular working hours can also cause conflicts if working hours are spread over a day. I consider mental transition the keeping of a regular daily routine, setting clear limits, work-life balance, and having time to physical exercises are very important. The speed of eating and the quality of your meals should also be carefully considered.
In this remote environment, how does your company retain its corporate culture and team cohesion?
I think again, it's a special beast, isn't it, to start everything virtually. And what we are building as well, globally and also locally, it's a people-focused, inclusive culture, right? Our values are passion, teamwork, and excellence. However, in the virtual world, everything takes more time, and we are getting there. Our engagement even is in a top quartile, which is, I think, it's a good thing. However, when you are doing the onboarding procedures, the entry days, the first 100 days, the cooperation with the team members and among the team members, we had to basically set up many virtual forums as well, and have a very precise machine behind the curtain who can manage through during this onboarding period, as this is the first time, let's say, when the people get engaged, right, with the organization. Globally, we have a transformation, right? So Trivium Packaging last November being, celebrated a second birthday. So there's a global transformation, and locally we have also a startup in the business service environment. So engagement takes time. Having said the culture from that perspective, what you can shape in a virtual world, it has its own limitation, but you can be surprised, and I was surprised that virtually to create social hours, focus on functions next to the official, onboarding and other educational programs, creating these team building events, even on the virtual environment. It is working. Although you cannot compare it, of course, with the face-to-face environment. So after even our 10 months, let's say in the first part of the virtual operations, to get back to the office and enjoying, let's say, a hybrid solution, there's been also a booster for that. Culture, it takes time to build. We are again at the beginning of our journey, but so far our retention, and also our engagement showcases that we are on the right track. We also lately introduced different employee resource groups and programs, and this is something as well that you can manage in a virtual environment. I believe that our folks doing a lot of things which will help to flourish our culture further.
It's not easy. We try to do our best with the virtual events. Our experience is that if there is a strong and cohesive team, the virtualization didn't impact their engagement. If we had challenges in the team, or our team is very new, then it requires more work. And clearly, engaging employees in some shape or form is critical. Again, it's a complicated topic because we had employees whom we had to onboard fully virtually, and that clearly works. However, probably the optimal solution that works for us, that we try to have a blended environment. Only volunteers who are feeling comfortable with that come to the office, and most newcomers choose to play along with that, and they have some face-to-face session, obviously observing social distancing, and most of the trainings are virtual, augmented with some in person. However, we have examples for anything and everything. Fully virtual onboarding is absolutely not unheard of. It's happening all the time, especially if the employee, the person who trains the employee might be in another country, and then there are no other options anyway.
We want to retain the values of our corporate culture, which have made us successful in an international environment. That's very important that we are currently in an international environment. At the same time, we keep looking for new ways to be most efficient and productive. Productivity is also very important, and there is also a key figure, I think, for the future. To enhance productivity, we will use various tools as well. The office will also be used as a tool to keep and further improve team cohesion, brainstorming, and efficient collaboration.
I think this would be a very difficult question with full home office over a long period. So in our case, it's hypothetical. I think a balanced model is necessary exactly to maintain the corporate culture. And also, my experience is that all the routine works are going without disruption. And when we went to full home office in the spring of 2020, there was no disruption. I would say there was no real drop in productivity. Everything went on smoothly. However, when we need to work on new projects, finding new solutions for completely new business requests, I think the personal presence gives so much more. The personal interaction, enhanced intuition, enhanced idea creation. Whatever digital support we have through Teams and other applications, but still not the same. Microphones are muted, there are no spontaneous jokes, there is no coffee corner discussion, so it's just not the same.